Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. This is our virtual meeting this morning. I'm Reverend Joanna Drewry. I'm the Associate Minister, replacing Reverend Carrie Hunter, our Senior Minister, who is on this call this morning but is not speaking this morning. And welcome to you all. I want to let you know that we're going to be meeting in person on July 4th at the Cook Community Center once again, and I hope to see you all there when we are back meeting in person. It will be wonderful. We're much looking forward to it. So this morning, we will begin with an opening treatment by Reverend Carrie. Carrie, if you would like to give the opening treatment, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, and good morning, everyone. And so I invite you to just join me in connecting with the divine, just sinking into God's stuff, knowing the truth of who you are, that each one of you, each one of us, is a beautiful expression of the divine. We came from love. We are here on this planet to be love and to continue on as love when we go back, releasing our physical form, going back into the light. And so I know today that hearts are awakened everywhere and that we feel this love that we are, and we send it out to one another and send it out to the world, this world that is in need. And I bless each one of you, and I bless this service today. I bless Reverend Joanna, and I have great gratitude in my heart for each of you who are so faithful to our time together, whether it's online or when it's in person again, and for all you do and for who you be. I know that this morning we are here on time, on purpose, and by divine appointment. And as we go through this morning, we deepen and deepen our spiritual awareness. We raise our consciousness to a higher and higher place until we know there is absolutely nothing but God everywhere, everywhere we look, everywhere inside us, everywhere around us. We are so blessed. We are the love of the divine here on this call, here, spreading it out over this world and blessing people everywhere, and sending a special blessing today to fathers everywhere. Without them, we wouldn't be here at all. I just say thank you, God, for all of the blessings in our lives, for knowing your holy presence within. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Carrie, very much, and thank you for being here. So, my talk this morning is called Gateway to Freedom.
Excuse me,
And
Joanna.
yes,
I think it's time for some music.
thank you. I sent you a note asking you to let me know. Thank you.
You're welcome. And as Reverend Carrie just said in her opening treatment, as hearts are opening and the world is reawakening, this song is just a wonderful message, and it is by Drucker and Claudia Carawan, and it is called I Am Open. I am open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. I don't have all the answers now, but I'm willing to take it slow. I believe that something is calling me where the path will lead. to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. There's an open road as far as I can see, and my heart will lead the way, step by step through the mystery. I surrender every day, but I am open. I am open. I am open.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you. Lovely.
Welcome.
So, gateway to freedom. There probably isn't anyone who hasn't longed to make a break for freedom at some point in their lives. And in the last year and a half, this may have been particularly true, as we've been living with restrictions that are compromised our lives, our possibilities for visiting with friends and family, for visiting places that we long to travel to. Those compromises have been difficult to accept for many of us. There are often other circumstances where we long to break free. We may find ourselves in jobs that are no longer providing us with satisfaction. Or we may think we are trapped with debts that seem endless. Or we find ourselves living in relationships that appear to be lacking the love and joy they once had. Or we may feel trapped by physical pain. Is there anyone who hasn't said, I just want to be free, when circumstances seemed overwhelming? When I suggest to you that prayer is the great gateway to freedom, I think I can hear the silent, oh yeah, coming from the other side of the screen. So today I'm going to take a different take on prayer. If you are skeptical, you may be persuaded to take a new look at the power of prayer in your life. One of my favorite authors, Eric Butterworth, wrote a great book called The Universe is Calling, Opening to the Power of Prayer. It is a book that has been around for a while, and some of you may have read and studied it. My talk today is based on this book. Butterworth introduces the idea of prayer by inviting you to imagine that you are in your favorite retreat of the mind. Imagine sitting in a mountain meadow in a field of golden poppies. Let us just be in that place and experience the lovely fresh air, the silence broken by the occasional bird song. Take a deep breath and be fully present there. Then when I snap my fingers, suddenly the earth disappears from beneath us, and we are, as we were in Carrie's meditation, in space with the moon and the sun looming large before us. Our relationship to our known reality alters. I snap my fingers again and the moon disappears, and the sun disappears. Now we are into outer space in the great vault of the universe. We are under a canopy of stars around us on all sides. Their shafts of light appear to be directed to us, like supporting hands of the universe. Rest for a while in this image and feel the universe rushing, streaming, and pouring into you from all sides while you sit quietly. Now you may be wondering, is this praying? It certainly isn't the way most of the world prays. You are the center of the universe or of God. Is there a difference? God is a presence who is fully present. There is nowhere to bow down and worship God, even within yourself. Can you sense an awakening of a new insight into God and yourself? God is not someone to pray to, but is the focus of an infinite idea being projected into visibility as you, that you pray from. The call of the universe is like the pull of the sun on the sunflower. It is the pull of life upward and outward on all growing things. It is the healing activity in which life is always biased on the side of health. The call of the universe is the call to come up higher, to take charge of your life, to release your imprisoned splendor. Sadly, few people respond with a decision to make changes in their lives. We are called upon to be like the little boy at the ballpark. Leo Biscaglia tells of stopping by a Little League game at a local park and asking a boy sitting on the bench at the first baseline what the score was. The boy smiled broadly and said 14-1. Leo asked him in a puzzled voice, "You don't seem discouraged." "No," the boy said, looking surprised, "I'm not discouraged. We haven't been up to bat yet." Here's a boy who really understands his relationship with the universe. The call of the universe is the key to prayer, though it is not prayer as we may have been conditioned to perceive it. Your prayer is not for God to listen to you. True prayer is words that God may utter through you, that you voice or feel in the silence. You are like a weather vane. It registers the direction of the wind, but it can't make the north wind blow. And when we pray, we do not cause God to spring into action. Rather, in our praying, we are hearing the call of the universe and responding to it. Are you listening? And while ministers and practitioners in New Thought provide affirmative prayer treatment for those who seek it, at the end of the day, you cannot ask someone else to breathe for you. So it is with prayer. It is an individual experience, a matter of understanding your whole self. While the minister or practitioner can help to create an environment in which you can more easily release your inner power, in the end, the responsibility for that release is yours and yours alone. I said in my talk last week, God is an allness in which you exist as an eachness. God is not in you in the same way that a raisin is in a bun. That is not unity. God is in you as the ocean is in a wave. The wave is nothing more nor less than the ocean expressing as a wave. When we get a perception of our relationship with the universe, that there is no one to pray to, but only a universal flow to get into, then we know that the role of prayer is the projection by our words and feelings of this divine flow, this powerful spiritual energy that goes forth to accomplish that for which it is sent. The science of prayer is not a technique for getting into God, or for getting God into us. It is the awareness of our true self in its largest possible context, and the key to changing things by altering our self-limiting attitudes. Prayer is not something we do to God or a ceremony we perform for God. It is an experience of our own God potential. We pray from a consciousness of God. Prayer is not conditioning God to our needs. It is conditioning our lives with the activity of God. Prayer is self-realization and self-expansion. When we speak of the science of prayer, it is easy to get prayer confused with an effort to work miracles. Praying for a miracle can often be a willingness to take charge of one's own life. And when we fail to take responsibility for our experiences, we look for the cause of our problems out there, in what someone else did or failed to do, or in the weather, the economy, or bad luck. But if we insist that the cause of conditions is outside ourselves, then change can only come from a change of conditions or fortune out there. In this case, we're then looking to God to change things for us. But God can do no more for you than God can do through you. I will repeat that. God can do no more for you than God can do through you. In some way, you have participated in the problem that may be manifesting itself in your life. That is what consciousness is all about. Thus, to effect change, you must participate in the solution by changing your consciousness. Much of what we think, say, and do stems from a field of subconscious belief that may be limiting our well-being. This is a little like the man who was told by his therapist that he had a preoccupation with vengeance. His response was, "We'll just see about that." Or the woman who said her neighbor was stalking her because she could see him Googling her name on his computers. She saw it through her telescope. Prayer is not conditioning God to your needs, but conditioning your needs to the activity of God. Prayer isn't trying to reach God or inform God or tell God all about your troubles. It is to know God as the infinite resource within you and to expand your own self-realization. God cannot be a presence that comes in because God never went out. You don't go anywhere in prayer. You simply remove the blinders from your own eyes. You need to forget about how worried and confused you are and remember how wonderful you are. If you want to be prosperous and successful, you must renounce the practice of thinking of yourself as a failure. The mental house cleaning required takes consistent work and a disciplined effort. You have to let go of attachments to the past, let go of self-pity, let go of prejudices and renounce gripes, grudges, and grouches. Let go of hates and hurts, false beliefs, and unfounded fears. There's a story told of a man who in the early days of the American Revolution was overcome with fear that the British Army would overrun his village and he would be taken prisoner or shot. He hid a boat in the bulrushes of the river, and one night when he heard the shout, "The British are coming," he dashed out of his house, ran to the river, and jumped into his boat. The current in the river was very strong, but he rowed all night until exhaustion set in. When, as the sun rose, he suddenly became aware that he was right where he had started. He had forgotten to cut the boat from its mooring. This is an important lesson. You can't have harmony and hold on to resentment. You can't hold on to anger and bitterness and have a healthy heart and a settled stomach. While love is always and eternally present, we can block it with our anger, resentment, or hatred. Remember that man with his boat moored tightly to the shore. The first step of prayer is letting go. When you get yourself out of the way, the divine flow does its work. You simply become receptive to the divine activity that is always present as a presence. praying for more love, more life, more guidance, more substance. This is not a matter of trying to bring more to you, but rather you must awaken to the more that has always been you. The gateway to freedom is always there if we can bring our minds to stillness, letting go and letting God, Spirit, the universal one, do its work. When we seek prayer for others because of our deep love and concern for their well-being, we are called upon to still our own minds and heal our own thinking about the other person. Practitioner always treats his or her own thinking first. Love knows no separation. As you know the truth of the divine presence within you, you alter your thinking, knowing that the whole of God is everywhere present at every point in time and space. Prayer is not begging for handouts. It is claiming your rightful inheritance. Life is consciousness. When you form the consciousness that makes the result inevitable, your answer will manifest itself. When you awake the commitment within your heart to return to a life affirming yes, consciousness, you will have found that precious gateway to freedom. When you find that wonderful yes, there is the gateway, and it is yours by divine right. And so it is. Thank you. So at this time in our service, we often will ask for your support for our center. We would pass a basket. And as we can't do that physically today, I'll just let you know that you can donate to the center by going to donate at cslvictoria.org and providing a donation of whatever amount you would like to give us that will enable us to continue to do these services, not just virtually, but actually in person starting July 4th. So I thank you very much for your support, for being here today, and for your continuing support for the center. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. So I will now do our closing benediction. And I'm correct in saying, Darlene, there's not another song. Is that correct? She's not there.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. So I will do the benediction now, and I thank you all for being here and look forward to seeing you again. So divine love, spirit, God, universal consciousness, blesses each of us on this beautiful summer's day, on this Father's Day, when we give thanks for the wonderful life that we are sharing, that we share in spirit, in consciousness, today and every day. And I give thanks for the power of this teaching and for our community and for our ministers, and for the gift of this teaching in our lives, for it is transformative. For the gift of love in our lives, for love is the power that moves the stars and keeps the planets in their courses. And as we go forward into this week, let us know that love is everywhere present, that love is healing the relationships with the native people who are suffering from the loss of their children. Love is healing the planet, which is suffering from a global warming issue. That is healing in each of our own lives and the lives of those we love. That healing energy of spirit everywhere, all the time present. is in us, working through us, as us, in this very moment. And as we know this truth, let us go forward into this beautiful day, this beautiful summer week, knowing the truth is that the gateway to freedom is always open, ever present, and all we need be is awake, aware, and allowing of God to be in our lives. And so it is. Thank you, everyone.